Right, hello everybody. Welcome to another Ruby Tuesday. It's our 74th Ruby Tuesday. We're of course doing it online right now. So it's just me hosting it today. Hello. Right, so this Ruby Tuesday is brought to you by engineers.my for sponsoring the StreamYard as well as the KL Ruby Brigade. If you're not already on our Facebook, come join us. Facebook.com/group/KLXRB. We mostly post our events on Meetup as well, so make sure you join us there. We're also on GitHub if you're interested in any Ruby code. And Slack is where we usually post our announcements and also chat with everyone who's writing Ruby. So definitely join us there. Right. Hello, everyone. I'm Gui. So I'll be hosting this Ruby Tuesday. If you like to have any interaction with us, remember to comment in Facebook or chat in YouTube. We'll definitely look at those. Right, hiring shoutouts. Well, I didn't get any requests to shout out for any hiring. I'll just note that we did have some hiring in our Facebook page as well as Slack channel. So definitely go visit those if you're interested in any new jobs. Right, for the first talk, we have Telegram bot by Andre. Right, click Andre in.
Hi everyone. You want me to start now?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Yeah, I was thinking like someone else joined. Okay. So, yeah, let me. Okay. Oh shoot! I need to give access. I guess it's.
Oh, I see it. I see it.
Okay. Is it working?
Yep. Is that the,
nice.
the one you want to share? Okay. All right, we can see your slides. Oh.
Okay.
Take it away then.
Sorry. So it starts here. So yeah. So my name is Andre, and I am from Russia, and I came here actually. Yeah, I work for the company. It's a Singaporean company. It's financial broker, I guess. You can call it like this. And we are in 4 countries, and it's main office in Singapore, then Kuala Lumpur, Bangkok, Jakarta, and this year the company planned to open office in Vietnam, but then the COVID happens, and I guess I'm not sure when it will be happen. So I came here in Malaysia to take over the project called Bursa Malaysia, and yeah, so we are a financial company. So we provide the services for financial companies across the Asia. So like in Singapore, Kuala Lumpur, Thailand, and etc. And so yeah, the Bursa is one of our clients. Then there is lots of clients. Some of them we provide the IT services. Some of them we provide just the numbers, the stocks numbers, or some announcements, etc. And so yeah, and so this is how I came. I came to take over the project, and we finish it. So it's live now. And so why the Telegram bot? It was in January when I went for the vacation to Vietnam, and I was working on I was working on Bursa Elasticsearch that time, and I was thinking how to, because I was going for vacation. I was thinking how I can monitor the server, the Elasticsearch actually, some logs and etc. That time I was doing on the staging server, and then I came up with the idea to use the bot. Actually, before that, I never used the bot, and then so I came up with that idea, and I started doing that, and actually, it's actually fun. So the bots can help you to to make your life easier, and so I try to show how. And yeah, maybe I'm not sure if Telegram is famous in Kuala Lumpur, but the several people I know, the local people, all of them they use Telegram. So I hope I hope you use it. And if you don't know what is bots, yeah, hope this session will help you. If not, then maybe you know about that. Maybe you use it, so it's nice. There is no feedback, so it's kind of like no interaction. Like I can ask some questions, but nobody can really give me feedback. So yeah, that's a bit bad thing about that COVID what we have now. And so yeah, I hope we can have a party like the latest party in Wuhan. I don't know if you heard about that. So hope we will have soon that similar like that. So okay, so before I tell about the Telegram bot, I want to tell because it's a feature from the Telegram, and actually bots not only from the Telegram. It's like there is several other messages has a bots as well. So I'm talking about Telegram because Telegram I think is very agile. I mean, like for the features, like there is so many features. So yeah, it's like mind blowing. So okay, so before I start, I want to tell you a bit. So I have my notes here. So I want to tell you a bit a history or background of the Telegram. So yeah, as you see, the Telegram was created by Russian guy Pavel Durov. He's ex-CEO of the largest social media network in Russia, which called Vkontakte. It was launched just next year after Facebook was launched, and the first version was exactly like a copy paste from a Facebook and just all the functionality. But then, like couple after like maybe several years, they started going other directions. So yeah, anyway, so he used to be CEO of that, and then after he resigned from the Vkontakte, from that social network. He started doing his messenger, that Telegram, and so this is the social media. And I believe I haven't checked that, but I'm pretty sure that the Telegram was the first messenger with the end-to-end encryption. I might be wrong, but I think WhatsApp added after. So I think so. It's a first messenger with end-to-end encryption, and because it's end-to-end encryption, because the messenger has secret chats. Secret chats means when you create a secret chat between one and another people, like between two users, and then you can set the timer when your message gonna be disappear from both users. So you can set like 5 seconds after one. I think it's yeah, there is a timer, and I think there is a view, like maybe like it will disappear after first view or something. I don't actually remember, but yeah, you probably know if you use the Telegram. I haven't used that secret chats for a long time. So because there is a secret chats and there is end-to-end encryption, of course the Russian Federal Security Service, they can come up to their office, or they reach them and ask, okay guys, we want a key to decrypt all messages, because they want to read the messages some potential hackers or some terrorists, And the Pavel Durov, he said, "Come on, guys, there is no like a global key which I can give you, because it's an end-to-end encryption between the users, and there is no way to decrypt that messages." Of course, they didn't believe that, and so they give him a time frame to give that key, unless they will block the Telegram in Russian Federation. So it was they launched that law. I think they launched that law in 2016, and then after 2 years, they they say, okay, if you not give us the key, we will block your Telegram. And then after that, he created that. Okay, let me check. Okay, he created that mail, like a message to the Russian Secret Service. Basically, it's all in Russian, but it's I don't know. Maybe you heard about that. It was about 2 years ago, and it was all over the internet. Everyone laughed about that. So basically, it says, "Come on, like according to your law from that date, blah blah blah, and the law number." I send you a key from the Telegram messenger, and a key is attached. So he take a picture of that letter, and oh yeah, of course it's spread across the internet, and everyone laugh of that that message, of course. So I guess it's pissed off the government, and they start they start blocking the Telegram. I mean, like they probably there was a special date. I don't actually remember, it was 2 years ago, but they start blocking the Telegram. And then they find out, okay, so they block Telegram, they block the server by IP address, and then they come up with that that it's still working. So they didn't understand what happened. Then they block another IP address, and then they found out that the Telegram working on another IP address. Then they block that IP address, and then they find out that there is a new IP address, and they cannot block it, because it's always, once they block one IP address, there is another IP address come up, and the Telegram is still working. So they didn't know what happened, and then they fight, like, I don't know, like whole day, and because it's always start up a new IP address, and then they start blocking IP ranges. So, like, for example, like, I don't know, like from 1 to 2 to 5. So like they take the bulk IPs and block them. So that day they block a lot of services, a lot of banks, a lot of online services, which is even like some government services. And finally, it was funny, they block themselves. It was like on like maybe like after like 24 hours, I don't remember. So they block themselves, and everyone laugh about this online. Like everyone send a message to each other, like, oh, they cannot block the Telegram. That's fine. That's cool, and blah blah blah. So, and I'm not sure if you know about that. If you don't know, I'll tell you how does it work. So what? Okay. So Telegram is checking if I don't know the technical part of that. How does it check if the IP blocked or not? Maybe they just listen for that. They just ping that IP. If it's blocked from Russia, then they create a new IP. So basically, once the IP was blocked, they start up a new server, or just change the IP address for that server, or just launch the new server. And then the new IP address was spread with the push notification from Apple Store. So basically, once the IP address was blocked, then the Telegram messenger on your phone got a new push notifications from Apple Store that there is a new IP address, and your Telegram switched to that IP address. So that's how the Telegram survived that attack. And so they couldn't block it. So after that, So it's like 2 years. And fine. Oh, okay, yeah. So at that time I used to work for one of the company in Bangkok, and we sell services across the world. And even our IP addresses was blocked. It was from AWS, I think. And then I of course I contacted the provider and said like, hey, come on, like our IP address is blocked from Russia, but of course like we have some clients from Russia. We need to be we need that IP address so people can go in and see our website. We don't have any issue with Telegram. We never host it, etc., etc. And they say, then I got a reply that they say, oh, I'm sorry, we cannot do anything. It's done by Russian government or wherever is a service which did that. And they say, please contact the Russian that service which blocked it. So of course, yeah, I'm Russian, so I can contact them. I send a message. I try to talk to them, and they say they just send me replies, the same replies. They say like, hey, come on, like your IP address was part of the Telegram, etc., etc., and that's why we blocked. We will not unblock it, and blah blah blah. So I had to change the IP address for that server. So the Telegram is very famous now for those people who wants to send. It's even involved in. I'm pretty sure it's involved in darknet as well. So people who trade something in darknet, they use Telegram. But yeah, many people use Telegram after that, and they understand like, oh, that's nice, so no one can get our messages, etc., etc. So and now, like nowadays, I'm not sure if you know about that, but now in Belarus, I'm not sure if you know that country. It's a Western, I mean, it's East European country, Belarus. So there was an election just a couple weeks ago, and they have a protest now. And what they do is the special forces they catch the people and they check their Telegram accounts and try to find who is those people who take videos and who is the administrator of some channels, some groups, so they can prosecute that and do some harmful to that people. And then there is one team. They release. They made a pull request to the Telegram. This is not those people who create the Telegram. This is not those developers. These are not the developers. They create a pull request for the Telegram, which they call it double bottom in English. In Russian, like, do I know it? No. So what it does is you create your account and you set the password, and then under two different passwords, you can get two different accounts. So for example, like if someone catch you and said like, okay, so for example, you cross the borders, and an officer when check your passport, any officer in any country actually can ask your password from Telegram, wherever. I know in China they do that. They check your portfolio on Instagram, because my friends they told me. So any officer can check your Telegram. So depends which password you give. They can open your Telegram and they can see your chats, and there is nothing. Of course, if you type another password, there is another messages. And so they did this pull request just a couple days ago. So there is a pull request. Yeah, it was like what was that? Oh, they built the 15 days ago. But when? Oh, they start building the 5 months ago. Okay, 6 months, 13 months. Okay, yeah, they quite long time they build it. I thought they just build it, but yeah. So anyway, they just send this open letter to the CEO of the Telegram and ask him to add this pull request to the Telegram, so to make people be safe. Okay, so this is some kind of history of the Telegram, of the messenger. So I hope it's not like a like advertisement. It's really, actually, I like it. Yeah, so that's why I tell you about that. Okay, next slide. So, okay, now is the bots. Okay, what is the bots? Okay, bots can be used in different services. For example, I'm not sure, I don't know. Yeah, in Malaysian bank, I haven't seen that, but in Russian banks, for example, like you send a message to the bank, to the chat, in the bank application, and you open the chat, and then you send a message to the support team. So first, who answer you is a bot, of course. He asks you what happened, blah blah blah, and then based on your answers, it will forward to the human technical support. So basically, first time, bot meets you, asks some questions, and then based on that, on your answers, will forward you to the specialist in the support team, so can help you. Some bots can be in the web applications. I mean, like in the websites, like you go to the website, there is some pop-ups on the site, and there is bots can be integrated there as well. And yeah, so this kind of like usage of the bots in the web. Yeah. So, and yeah, actually, what is the bot? Bot is it's a tool which replies you when you enter some message. For example, like you type something and then you will get reply. So this is what bot do. And then there is several bot types for I'm talking about the Telegram for the Telegram. So there is a chat bots, and the chat bots is kind of those bots from the bank applications would try to talk to you, and they are simulating like they make themselves like a human. They ask some questions, and then you reply, and based on that, they will forward you to the technical support. If we're talking about the bank, then there is a game bots. I don't play games, so I never tried game bots in Telegram, but probably you can Google it and try. Maybe it's kind of similar like in WeChat. There is a dice. Maybe it's something like this. I have no idea. So then there is assistant bot, and assistant bot is, for example, like you want to pay something on the website, then the assistant bot will help you to go through the payment. And the last one is the informer bot, is can inform you about some news, events, publications, etc., etc. And yeah, so it's the informer bot. And next one, how does it works? So the bot working is like yeah, so basically it's like a mouthpiece and levers, which yeah, for example, it's a mouthpiece. Yeah, for example, like you have a computer, and you want to open the bottom cover from computer, for example, to, I don't know, like replace your hard drive or do something. So user has a computer, right? And you need to have some kind of tool to open your bottom part, right? So you get the screwdriver. So the screwdriver is considered like a bolt. So user takes the screwdriver, use the screwdriver to unscrew the screws and open the bottom part. And then you can access the hardware of your computer. So yeah, so the bolt is kind of similar. And it works like this one. I drew that diagram. So on the left side, in kind of like a yellow orange, is a user part on your phone. and the right side in like olive or green color, light green, is another part of the boat which runs on the server. So basically, your boat is a user part, then Telegram part, and the server part. So when I say that the boat is mouthpiece and levers, or like as an example, like a screwdriver. So it's a tool to make you do something through that tool, through the boat or through the screwdriver, right? So here is the same. Like user wants to send like do something with the boat, right? Some interaction, and so the user send the message, as you see here, send the message, and then there is something happens in Telegram, and then through the boat API it sends to your server, your code on the server, and then something happens in your server. It depends what the boat doing, what is the boat for you built, like I don't know, like currency conversion or something. Actually, in our office, we have a Iranian guy, and he said because Iran is under American sanctions, there is they block everything. So I guess there is a SWIFT also blocked. So what they do is they use Telegram everywhere for everything. So it's similar like Chinese people use WeChat, and inside the WeChat there is like a mini programs. So Iranian people, they use Telegram for everything, for conversation, for payments, for lots of stuff, because they can have a Telegram, and then they can run their code which they write and host it in the server inside the Iran. So for them it's really helpful. Yeah, and actually not for only for them, but for many people. So once your message is processed in the server, then it will reply again through the bot API and send to your phone. And then so basically you type a command, and then it's go through the bot API, then go to the server, then process in your server, and then reply, and then you get the answer on your phone. So very easy. Yeah, how to make the bot. I will not tell you like whole instruction how to make it, because you can find it very easily online on YouTube, and you go to the API documentation. It's very easy, very easy. I will show you example what I did, and so you will understand. And then just read a little bit, and you will know how to build the Telegram. I mean the bot. So there is first, like when you want what you want to do is first you need to understand like what bot is for, like what it's gonna do for you. So when you come up with idea, and then that idea you need to understand like what kind of process in the server here, like processing your messages, what should do, like either it's a currency conversation or some scraping, some news. Maybe you want to get some events or news to on your phone. So you can first you come up with the idea, and then you can start building. And so first what you start, so I will tell you a few steps first, and then you can go with that. So first in the Telegram you find the bot father. So bot father is also bot actually, and this bot, through this bot you create your own bot. So it's kind of like a mother deliver child, and then child grow up and then deliver another child. So it's funny. So when you find the bot father in your Telegram, you type the message new bot, and then you just follow the instruction what bot asks you. So the bot will ask you create the name of your new bot, which should be ended with a bot as well. Yeah, but you will see that when you try that. Then you can add the avatar, then you can add some description for your bot. And in the last step, the bot father will send you a token of your newly created bot. And then you just copy that token and keep it in your secret place, of course. And okay, so this time for the demo. Okay, I'll show you. I show you what I built. First, I will show you. First, I will show you what I built for the Bursa when I need to check my Elasticsearch. So okay, there was a it's not really yeah, it was like a kind of request. So okay, so I was needed to create an index for every night, and this index should be built up based on the date. And of course, I need to remove the old index because if I will not remove, then it will grow the data on the server, and then it might be out of space and not really good. So, so first I need to run the index every night, basically re-index. And then the second, I need to run the tool called Curator. I don't know if you're familiar with Elasticsearch. So then you need to run Curator, which will remove the older index. So you can in the Curator in the configuration you can set for how many days ago you want to remove it, like 2 days ago, 3 days ago. For example, like you want to keep an index for the last 2 days, like I did, for example, or you want to keep for last week or 3 weeks. So yeah, and because I went for the vacation, and it was not really comfortable to go to the server and check, is it run, is it everything good, if there is no error, if there is logs is okay, if the Curator working, if the Elasticsearch is work okay, because that exactly the time I was doing that. And so I need to monitor that. And of course, like for example, if I need to go and SSH to the server, I need to connect with the VPN to my server, to our server in Malaysia, and then through the VPN server. Actually, at that time, we go to VPN to the Singapore. Then from VPN from Singapore, we go to the Bursa Malaysia server. So it was like kind of funny. So I was looking for the way how to avoid all the VPNs and open the computer. So basically, like like you go somewhere, you take your phone and you check. Oh yeah, okay. So Elasticsearch is run. Okay, good. So okay. Oh, you check. Oh yeah, Curator is run. So there is no errors or there is some errors, etc., etc. So it's very convenient. Okay, so this bot still running, and this bot is working only on staging. Of course, I didn't run it on production. It's not available. It's not possible. So because it's production, but yeah, in staging is our server, so I can run it. I can do it, and I don't use this bot anymore because I built it just for that week, and from that week it's still working. But I don't check it. In the bot, I create the virtual keyboard. You can see it here. So it's I create four keys. So I don't need to type. Actually, I can type like show index, for example, right? And then click and enter, and this will reply me the whole index. But for for my phone, I don't want to sit and type show index like / show index blah blah blah. What I want is just click one button, then I get the result. So that's why I create a virtual keyboard, and it's accessible by this button. There is actually inline keyboard when you gonna look. If you want to learn, you can go on API. You can learn some. There is a inline buttons or keys and virtual key. So this one is a virtual. I come up with this approach because I think it's good for what I want. Actually, just click the button. Okay, so I create like a show index, run index. For example, if for some reason the index didn't run, I can run it by myself. It takes like a long time, so of course I will not press that button. And then if I check for example, like here I keep the last 2 days logs, and if I see there is more than 2 days, 3 days for maybe something goes wrong. So I can click run curator, and curator should remove the yeah, just for some reason, if the curator didn't run, then I can check the logs what happened, why the curator didn't run. But for now, I can like just press the button and clean it, and then when I come back to the office, I can check what happened. And then I can show the error like logs. If there is some errors, I can see like what happened. So as you can see, like show logs is has arguments like five lines. I can type. I put it 5 by default, but I can type logs like 10, so it will show me the last 10 logs, last 10 lines, and yeah. So I did it up to 25 lines because. Yeah, otherwise like you can like type 100, then it's like a towel in your phone. So that's why I make it maximum is 25. So if I type show logs 30, it should send me sorry dude, yeah, this is too much. Yeah, so yeah, just this I made that message, so it replied me that message. Yeah, so this one is a bot for Bursa Malaysia, and it's run on our staging server. It's not running on the production, and this is not do anything with production. So it's only everything in the staging. So that's why I can show you. There is no actual information, you know. And then yeah, again. It's good to ask you, but yeah, I'm pretty sure you cannot answer me right away. So, like, I'm not sure what are you doing like every morning when you wake up. But what are you doing? Like first thing what you do when you wake up. Yeah. So try to remember what did you do this morning when you wake up. I don't know, maybe like reading the Bible or whatever. So many people read the news, so am I. Like I do when I wake up, I take my phone and I check the news, what happened for the night, some political news. As older I get, I more political news read, but yeah, I should stop it. Yeah, but yeah, I read tech news. And then I was that when I created that bot for Bursa, I was thinking like, hey, every time when I try to read the news in the morning, I always go to some websites to read the news I want. And then I was thinking like, why don't I create a bot which will send me the all the latest news in which I want, not every news in the website I visit, but only those I want, you know, so by tag actually. So what, and then I came with that idea. I was thinking like, yeah, that's good. I think that should help me. Like I should spend less time to finding all the news from different websites. So and some people use a different approach to get that news. Some people set the RSS feeds and use some applications for that. I tried to use the application from Apple, but in my phone. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't really like it. It was not convenient for me. So yeah, and then I come up with this idea, and then I was thinking like, yeah, I can create that bot which will send me information which I want. And then in March, the COVID came. And then every time from different countries, my friends, they call me, they send me messages. They said like, hey, come on, dude, like there is so many people sick. Like how many in Malaysia? I said, oh, sure. I said like, I don't know, like I have no idea how many in Malaysia. I don't follow that. And then I have to open the website and check how many infected people or like COVID people in Malaysia, like how many deaths, how many new cases, etc. And then I was thinking like, okay, so I can add it to my bot. I can add that information to my bot. So in one click, I just get the whole information for the countries I want. So I build a scraper. I built the two scrapers. So I built a scraper for COVID I got the word metrics website, and I build a scraper, and I check which country I want. So and I okay, so I show you. Okay, this is how it looks. This is the messages I get. So I scraping the Malaysia, of course, because I'm living in Malaysia now. So I'm scraping the Thailand because I used to live in Thailand for a long time. I have lots of friends there, and then I'm scraping my country, Russia. So I have like 3 countries. I can add more, like Indonesia, for example, because yeah, I also lived in Bali as well. So, but I don't really have much friends there, so this is enough for me. But I can add any country and get more information from other countries. So I also created 2 buttons. So I call it COVID, as you can see here, and I call it tech. So when I need to get the information, how many, what is the COVID statistics, I can click that button, and then it sends, and then I will get the reply with the information. Yeah, so okay, so today, the September 1st in Malaysia, 14 new cases, 1 new death in Malaysia. Then it's give me some another information. Then it says like, okay, Thailand 5 new cases in Thailand, and all cases, blah blah blah, and then 4,729 in Russia, 123 death. Yeah. So it's cool, right? So anytime someone called me and said, "Hey, come on, like how many people in Malaysia?" and I open my Telegram bot, click the button, and get, oh, it's Malaysia, that number. So yeah, so very easy. And then the tech scraper is yeah, of course, like when I want to read the news, I click that button. This will send me the latest news in tech with my tags. So I choose the security tag, I choose Linux tag, Ruby, Linux, and then I can, so, and then it send me a title and the tags. So anytime I can, for example, like supporting Linux kernel development in Rust, right? It's a Linux, but yeah, maybe in future I should add except tags like Rust. I don't really need Rust. I don't really read in Rust or anything for Rust, so it should be not sent to me because it's not. I will not read that. So maybe I'll do it in future. We'll see. And then. Yeah, like Ruby, this one I can click and read, and then it will go to the that website with that news, and then I can read the that oh, Web Archive, why from 2010? Wow, really? Yeah, 2010. That's too old. Okay. So this is my 2 bots. Really helpful. The last one, this one is really help to me. And I was talking to my friend here, and I showed that I got this information, and he said, oh, cool, like I want to use that as well. And then I said, yeah, because the bots. So I don't. Okay, there is several. Yeah, two options to use the bot. You can use the bot itself, or you can use the bot inside the channel or group. So what I use the bot itself. I basically I create the bot, and then I open the bot, and then I use it. I don't use it in the groups. So it's publicly open. Anyone can search for Altai newsfeed and find that bot. To use that, you need to do the send the buttons, or I mean, send the command start, and then it will start for you. But I don't want to be used for everyone, of course, right? So nobody can use it because I strictly put my ID inside the code. And after that, when my friend asked me, and then another friend come up and said like, oh, I want to use it as well. So 3 of us using now. And so in the future, like, I don't know if anyone's want to use it as well, or maybe want to see something inside, how does it work? It actually, this can, how to improve this, it can add the database, and each user can be saved in the user table, right? And then you can attach, the user can create the tags, what the user want, or country, if it's for the COVID information, can choose the country, right? And then it will be saved in the database as well. And then depends on the user. When you click the button COVID, depends on the user, because when the server receives the comment, it also comes with your ID of your Telegram. So it depends on the user can reply with the specific countries or specific tags for the news. Yeah, so you can build your own. You can use another one. You can use this one if you want. Yeah, just let me know. Okay, now I want to show you some code. Okay, so this is the structure. I run it with what do you call, with the cron job. I run the bean bot, and this is the kind of like a main file, which is which starts. So first it reads the configuration file and get some configuration, get some token, the logger, and then it gets some allowed users. So allowed users is those IDs of the specific user who allowed to see that the information inside that bot or can use that bot. And it looks like this. So this is the token come from the YAML file. This is the logger come from the logger news. So this is the allowed user comes from the YAML file as well. So inside the configuration, and then that part is like, if you want, you can use that. It's right, like when you start your application, you'll write the PID file and then check the PID file if it's running or not. Basically, the process is demonize. Okay, and then after that, so when you create a PID, demonize, write PID, and then like if you don't want, you don't need to use that to make it simple. And this is the start API for the bot, for the Telegram bot. So it's listen for the message. Basically, when you type something, you send, and then it's here. So it's your message, and then it's read for your message. Then it checks like if allowed user include message chat ID. So if your ID is allowed to read that, and then it's make a log and go to the message responder with the options, with these options. So basically it's a bot and message. There is otherwise it will tell you access denied. So you can try. You probably will get access denied. So message responder is this one. And then it just, when you type start, it runs this method. When you click stop, run this method. When you click answer with help messages, run this method. Then COVID is this one, tech is this one. Yeah, this one I don't use because I just when I just copy the boost bot, and upon that I built for the COVID. So some method I just didn't comment out. Actually, yeah, I did see it's like some of them are just commented. So what is it? Yeah, see, it's like on COVID, and then it's here. So basically, you get the regex, and it checks like how many any arguments you pass. If not, if zero, just yield. If there is some arguments, then it's yield with the arguments. And then answer with messages. Yeah, answer with messages. Then it will go to the message sender with both message chat, text, and answer. And message sender is here. So basically, it will do the run the send method and the parse method. There is a markdown. There is another one. I don't remember which one, but I choose markdown because it's easy. I don't know. So just use the markdown. This is the reply markup formatter for the Telegram, for the keyboard. Like remember, I had 4 four keys for the Bursa and two keyboard, two keys for my newsfeeder bot. And then this is my scrapers. So this is World Metrics scraper to get the COVID information. So I go to this website and then I check the countries. Yeah, the country I added here. So as I tell, like it's possible to add it to the database based on the user. Otherwise, like it's enough for me, so I use it right here. And then so it's go through the countries and get the data from the country, and then they will parse the page and reply in this format. And my news, this is my news, same, this is scraper. So this is pretty much all what I want to show you. I really encourage you to try the create bot for you. As I tell, like you can create anything. For your server, you like I don't know, you can run any command on your server with a Telegram. So you just send the message, and then inside your code you can run, I don't know, like some kind of statistics. I have no idea what, but like like logs. Let's see, like I run to see like what kind of logs, if there is error log or no errors, etc. Yeah, I think you can do anything with the bot. I cannot remember anything like you cannot do, but yeah, lots of things. So this is pretty much it. Hope you enjoy it and hope it will help you. So yeah, that's it.
All right. Thanks, Andre, for your talk.
Yeah,
Let me see if we have any questions from the comments or chat. Well, we don't have anything yet. Maybe we'll wait for a bit. Maybe I can ask, like, how, like,
yeah, sure.
you sort of mentioned it a bit about how was interfacing with Telegram's API? Was it like straightforward, or any challenges that you face?
It's really straightforward. If you go to the Telegram API, I think it's everything. It. I don't think you can challenge yourself, because it's really easy. Otherwise, if it's challenge for you, you can go to some tutorials. There is lots of tutorials on YouTube you can get, and they will give all the details how to build it.
Right, good to know. Yeah, I don't see any questions, so I guess that's that. Again, thanks so much for the talk, Andre.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Okay, so moving on to the next talk would be Learning by Bug by me. Let me bring up my slides. Hold on, let me just check the stream real quick. Okay, all right. Keynote. Okay, hi everyone. Today I'll be talking about learning by bug, how to up your puts debugging game. So I'll be talking about what is by bug, what do we use it for, and most importantly, how to use it. Hey everyone, I'm Gui. I don't code Ruby professionally, but I do it more of a hobby. My day job, I think about engineering systems and processes. So my online handler is Ghosted Human. You can find me on GitHub and Twitter. And currently I'm working at Service Rocket. Right. I believe most of us here, at least you're listening to this talk, are developers. And most of our day-to-day work is actually to ship working bugs. I meant features in software that does certain functionality. So we write tests to ensure our code is working. However, what do we do when we're not quite sure what's wrong with our code? Right? Usually we can just read the code line by line and try to understand mentally why the code isn't working. Right? Usually from there, we will we'll become a professional puts debugger. Right? We'll put puts everywhere to try to find what is the problem. right? Puts here and there and everywhere. The last way, of course, would be to use a debugger. So which is bybug that I'm going to talk about. So this is an example code that I'll be using throughout this talk. Right. So it gets a user ID and a hash called referred. And if the user has referred someone before, they don't get a referral discount. But if the user has not referred, they get a referral discount. Right. So when we run this code, somehow we get a 0. Right. Probably it's quite obvious to see where the problem is. But yeah, it's deliberate that the code is simple. Right. So usually we will want to do a put somewhere to see that it's actually escaping out to a certain part of the program. Right. As we didn't see any of the puts output in, well, the output, obviously the program didn't pass through that section of the code. So let's talk about bybug. What is actually bybug? So bybug is a Ruby debugger, right? So it's a Ruby gem. So installation is straightforward. You use bundle and add the gem to your gem file. It uses the tracepoint API, which is available actually in kernel level. And bybug supports MRI 2.4 or higher. However, bybug doesn't support any other implementation like JRuby and Truffle Ruby. All right. So let's jump into how to use bybug. It's actually quite simple. Just bybug the Ruby file. And from there, it will show all the lines of code. It will show the file. And it will show all the lines of codes in the file itself. And there is also a prompt where you can, well, use it to type in commands. The first thing to know, of course, is how to call for help. So help is the command to do that. And of course, the other thing you want to know is how to quit bybug. Don't worry, it's easier than quitting Vim. In bybug, using list will show us which line of code the bybug debugger is at. Right, in this case, it's at line 1. To set up breakpoints in bybug, we can use the break command. For example, break2, which is creating a breakpoint at the file line 2. Right. There's also the continue command, which continues the code on to the next breakpoint or until the end of the program. So let's see that in action. So here is a bybug prompt. So we want to stop at line 5 because we want to know whether that is executed or not. So we can set up a breakpoint at line 5, so break 5. So it creates a breakpoint at line 5. From there, we can type continue for it to execute, and the program actually executes completely. So it doesn't stop at line 5 at all, it doesn't hit the breakpoint. There's a next command in bybug. So it's like continue, but instead of stopping at the debug point or end of execution, it stops at the next line of code. So here I have a bybug pointing at line 2 of the application. And when I type next, it actually just goes down to line 3 and will stop there. In bybug, you can set up conditional breakpoints. So for example, here you can set up that, hey, set a breakpoint at line 3 if it meets a certain condition. So that way you don't have to set breakpoints all over, and you can set breakpoints based on conditional or variables. I think most of us here use Rails. I say most, but of course I know there are other frameworks out there as well. Right. So how do we use bybug in Rails? It's actually quite simple. The gem is actually included since Rails 4.2. Right? And in the Rails code itself, all you need to do is just type the method bybug. That's all. So when the code is being run, it will stop at the line after bybug. In this case, I hit the endpoint and it will stop immediately at line 8, which is after the bybug method. So what about variables? Very often what we do is we just put the value of the variables to see what is the value they are at. And well, for a short amount of code, it can be easy. But for longer amount of code, it's very hard to just put everywhere. So let's see how to use this in bybug. So in bybug, it's actually quite simple to get the variable, the value of the variable. All we need to do is just type the variable name inside the prompt, and there we go, we get the value. We can also check different variable types in bybug. We don't have to specify a specific variable. For example, if let's say all I want to do is just check local variables, then we just type var local, and bybug will show all the local variables. Bybug allows us to check multiple scopes, so we can check constant, global, instance, and local variables. And I think this is quite useful, especially if you want to see what scope a variable is at while debugging. One thing that is very useful with bybug is that it allows us to mutate the variable while debugging. So in this case, I have a equals 1, and I print out the value of a. Right. So when I start bybug, it starts at line 1. I click next, and it hits line 2, and I can set the value a is 42, and immediately change the value of a to 42, and it prints out that accordingly. What about watching variables? A lot of times while debugging, we want to see how a variable changes throughout the program itself. So as we use puts to debug, as you can see, we have to put puts everywhere. Again, coming back to the problem that it's not scalable when it's a long method or huge application, and we want to see how the variable changes. Right, so using bybug, it's quite easy to watch the changes of a variable. What we do is we do display and the variable name, and as you can see in the next line, it actually is undefined. Next up, we can set line trace. So what this does is it does a print on every line that the bybug traverses. So as you can see below, it shows all the lines that it continues to trace. And we see that from undefined, it becomes empty and then true. Well, from there, the culprit is quite easy. I didn't have much time to prepare this presentation, but bybug is also useful in a lot of other areas. For example, if you want to debug other libraries that you're using, you can use the step command in bybug that allows you to step in through other libraries, as well as you can trace where the function is being called by obviously using the command where. For debug libraries, oftentimes I realize it's easy to check out method missings. The method missing methods. Sometimes some libraries just use method missings and to fill up all the gap that it doesn't cover. So having step definitely help us to step into the libraries. Right, some references I use, including the bybug GitHub and also Ruby on Rails debugging with bybug gem. Rather than taking question and answers, I would like you all to share more tips and tricks, or any if you have seen while using bybug. I'm just beginning to learning this, and I know that there's a lot of cool things that bybug can do. So I'm just barely scratching the surface. So if you have any tips and tricks, please share it in the chat or comment. Right. Thanks, everyone. Oh, Andre, I have a question for you. I've just seen a question about, do you know if there's a threshold or limitation for the Telegram API?
It's kind of abstract question for me because I haven't met any limitations in my experience. So probably for sure, like any API has limitations, but for those two bots I built, I haven't seen any limitations in my case. So probably there is limitations, but yeah, I have no idea. The more you work, the more you use the API, then the more you understand, the more you can you know like if there is limitations or not. So yeah, I haven't met any. So sorry.
No worries. Yeah, I guess everybody's use case is different. For yours, it's a scraper, so I don't think you will hit the limitation. Okay, all right. Let's see. Okay, I don't think I'm getting any other questions. But yes, if anyone have any questions, feel free to put it in the Facebook comment or the YouTube chat. Looking at both at the same time. Okay, in the meantime, let me just continue with the keynote. There's a few things I want to talk about. All right, so I think in the last meetup, I talked about bringing back Code Clinic in a remote format. So I'm kind of thinking, let's start doing that. Let's try to do it in October. So the next meetup, we'll do a remote Code Clinic. So the plan is we'll all join a Zoom call, and from there we will break out to we will break out to the breakout rooms like for each topic that we have, and then we can either share code using Zoom or use VS Code Live Share, like whatever the person like bringing the problem is comfortable with. And once like we're up for an hour ish, we'll join back and debrief. So that's the plan. I will hopefully work this out with everyone else, and we will have more details soon. Like Gui from Penang just joined us. Hey Gui.
Hello. Hello.
Hi.
So how are you, everyone?
Not bad, not bad.
Just now we talk about debugging, right, on bug. There's another tool called Pry. I think it's very old tool. When you start learning Ruby, there's a Pry. You can use Pry. Let's see. Now we talk about Telegram. Oh yeah, about the password, multi-password, multi-profile. About that PR, when it will be released.
Yeah,
That's
nobody knows. They just created PR a couple days ago, and they send the open letter to the team, to the Telegram team, and ask them to add it inside the Telegram by default, so anyone will have it. But that feature is cool. I think it's really cool to hiding your another messages, another conversations.
Mm-hmm. Because you mentioned about scraping, right? What tools do you use around Ruby scraping? Because we know that in Python there's a beautiful soup and stuff like that.
It depends. For example, if like I can use like a regular, like open the page and then use Nokogiri and then get, if it's like simple page. But if there is something advanced, I use the Selenium. It's a bit slowing, but yeah, like in scraping, like I don't need the speed, so I can do pretty much everything with the Selenium. Yeah, so I use, for example, like for Instagram, I have an Instagram scraper. I was build one of the website, and the requirements was so user of that website don't want to upload the pictures inside Instagram and inside the website, right, in the admin, through the admin panel. So the user said, I want to post it on Instagram, and that's it. So I built an Instagram scraper for that. Once the user update the image in Instagram, then the scraper will come and get it. So for Instagram, I use Selenium because you have to run the JavaScript, and there is some kind of techniques, because there is everything in a JavaScript. You get the JavaScript, then you run the JavaScript in the Selenium, and then you get the reply, and then you can you get all these images, all these not only images, I mean like all the posts, and then you can get information from all the posts, and then you have to scroll down, then new bulk of images loads, and then you scrape all these images, then you scroll down again. So yeah, it's easy with Selenium.
Okay. Have you tried Phantom.js, or I think Phantom.js is discontinued?
It's old. I think it's old already. It doesn't support. So I of course I tried. I tried to scrape Cellcom that I don't know how you pronounce it. Cellcom, right? Cellcom.
Yeah, the ISP, you mean?
Yeah, I tried to scrape their website, and they use something. I forgot the name of that. They tried to avoid the scrapers, but of course, like if you can see it, if human can see it, like anyone can scrape it. So I tried to scrape them, and you also need to run the JavaScript there. And I tried to use the Phantom.js, doesn't work. At least I can maybe it worked, but I couldn't. Yeah. So maybe not.
I think probably the agent header they check for that, because if you use Selenium.
No. Of course they check for the agent, but it doesn't matter for the agent. They use. I forgot what the library they use in JavaScript. So for example, like when you load the website, cellcom.com.my, I think. First it loads the JavaScript, and then if you run the JavaScript, then it loads the page. So if your scraper go to the website and cannot run this JavaScript, then the website will not load it. So what you get is lots of JavaScript in your scraper. I mean, in your code, like you scrape it. I mean, like you open the page, and then you got a lot of JavaScript. So then you need to run that JavaScript, and then the website, the servers, the server see, okay, you are human, then it will load the page.
Oh, so it's a single page website. It's most likely.
It's not a single page. It's not considered a single page. I forgot.
More on the triggered something to check whether you are human or not.
Yeah, you have to trigger something to be able to get the whole content.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, they have ways to stop people from scraping.
Yeah, but of course, like if human can see it, anyone can scrape it. Even like there is a Google reCAPTCHA, the second version, it doesn't work anymore, so anyone can avoid it. Now is the third version is most powerful, but the second version, it's you have to stop using if you're still using.
Okay. Previously, the CAPTCHA, I think I used Tesseract to run. To guess whether the text is correct or not, to complete the CAPTCHA. The percentage is maybe 70 or 60% if you use Tesseract, because there's a vision. You can run through a vision library called Tesseract, and then it will guess whether the text is correct or not. But it doesn't work perfectly, because that's the purpose of CAPTCHA, to prevent you to automate the stuff. But it's fun to try. To use Tesseract to guess the CAPTCHA.
Yeah. Now is because it's COVID, so every time when you enter the shopping mall or any shop, right, you have to scan the QR code.
Yep.
And those QR code is not protected anyhow. So you can type any name, you can type any phone number, you can make it like as long as you want. I mean, like so. Yesterday I went one of the shopping mall and I scanned the QR code, and then I saw like, oh come on, they add CAPTCHA. So probably they start getting some spam or flood, so they add a CAPTCHA. But the CAPTCHA is very similar, very easy. So you just can read the text very easily with some tools. So. It's very easy. I mean, like I used to work for one of the company. We build a face recognition for. I mean, like no, it's not face recognition. It's a document recognition, like a face and for example, like you need to log in with your face, and then you need to provide your passport. So if the picture on the passport and the picture on your from your camera is matched, then it's login, and then it's read the MRZ data. So yeah, so to read the numbers, it's very easy actually. Yeah.
To get the match, that will really help in terms of ID verification. There's a lot of process.
Yeah. This is what we build. We build ID verification. Yeah, correct.
Cool stuff. That's cool stuff.
Yeah, it's a part of the AWS. If you know, so inside the AWS, you can do that.
There's a model trained for that on the face.
I don't remember. It's so the backend was built by another guy. So I wasn't really involved in his part. He built it, so I know it's enabled AWS, but yeah, so I haven't touched that part. His part actually.
Okay, but the text recognition is basically taking it from an image, right? You recognize the text from the image.
Yeah. I think there is lots of libraries for text recognition. So.
Interesting. Yeah, fun stuff.
Yeah, but the face recognition, then we use the AWS and the document, the verification.
Stuff.
Because it takes a lot of power. I mean, the server power, so that's why.
So now, because normally when we do scraping, it's mostly scraping HTML text. You do scraping in terms of Instagram, right? It's more on picture. So do you have like picture category, whether the photo that you scrape belongs to an animal? Do you identify as a cat?
It's a machine learning. No. No, of course, like maybe in future, if I need to do that, maybe yeah, I can go and learn some machine learning. But no, I don't do that because I don't need that. So what? When I start doing the scraping for the Instagram for that client, what I say, okay, so we need to make like a stop tag, and stop tag means if you don't want this image to be uploaded to your website or scraped, you just put that stop tag, and then I will integrate that inside the code, and then when I scrape the page, scrape the images, and then once it finds that stop tag, it will not take that picture, it will just skip. So that's how it works now.
Okay. Yeah,
because there's some pictures like advertisement pictures or some not really beautiful, just for Instagram, just for information. So it shouldn't be scraped. So we use stop tag.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense. Else it will keep on going through every single time.
It's simple. Yeah, it's simple. It's as simple as that.
Okay. Do you do any like compression or resizing of the image, or making it like maybe do a what's they call it, a watermark? Because certain
I did. Yeah, I did.
Watermark.
Yeah, I did.
So what?
Yeah. Hello, excuse me.
For what watermark is it? Image. What's that? The library for Ruby. Magic. Magic.
Image Magic. No, there is another. The Image Magic is a library for the image manipulation, but there is some gem for the watermark. I don't remember which one I use, because just Google it, you'll probably find it. But working with Image Magic, I had lots of not lots of experience, but I had very cool experience with map server. Maybe like next time I can give a talk about the map server and the manipulation with the Image Magic. So it's I like, it's cool experience like I have. Maybe one day in the future.
Cool stuff. Wow, there's a lot of experience in terms of like image processing, data collecting and stuff. Cool.
Yeah, not that much, but yeah, have some.
Interesting. Yeah, now I think the the popular stuff is more on data science, more on like scraping, processing data. I think Ruby, there's a Ruby data science foundation, something like that. But it's still progressing. It's not ready per se as very fast, but it's still there. There's a library called Daru. It's more on the data science part for Ruby. And also Jupyter, there's a core engine for Ruby, so you can use Jupyter with Ruby. Just need to install the Ruby core. They call it iRuby, so that you can use Ruby on top of Jupyter.
Nice. Yeah, I haven't touched the data science or any machine learning or AI, so maybe in the future we'll see.
Image magic, yeah. See any comments from people? No comments at the moment. Okay. Have you heard the latest, I think, keynotes from Max about Ruby 3x3? I think on the Ruby on conference. Yeah, it's should be
yeah,
this year.
I'm not sure which conference, but yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, and actually, actually today I had one of the tough thing is one of the step for the Ruby 3 is what do you call it? It's a frozen string literal, right? So they freeze the strings, and they already added inside the Ruby 2.7. They add nil to string, true to string, and false to string is not immutable anymore, and it will return the error. And yeah, because in our company we have a lot of applications, and even like very old, even like we have some app in Ruby 1 point something, but yeah, we have to rewrite that. So today I was working with the old application in Ruby 3.2, and I try to run it. I try to find what is the maximum Ruby version I can run Rails 3.2. So actually it runs in Ruby 2.7, but there is one library from Rails, is the action pack, return error, because they add they define the nil, and then they try to convert nil to string, and then in Ruby 2.7 return error.
Okay.
Yeah. So once I go to the action pack, and then I comment nil and add just a string, and then it's working. So I can run Rails 3.2 in Ruby 2.7, 2.7.1.
Okay. Maybe you can create a pull request for that on.
Yeah, it's not supported anymore. Actually, it's not supported, not maintain it. I don't think anyone approve it.
Okay, makes sense. Yeah, cool, good thing to find out. Yeah, now I think the latest Ruby is 2.8. Maybe 2.8 will be 3, because they say that's the last version they plan for this year.
Oh, okay.
The garbage collection, they posted an article about the garbage collection stuff. It's also interesting. Yeah, some good stuff coming up.
Yeah. Actually, I want to talk about the debugging in Ruby. So I came to Ruby from PHP like 7 or 8 years ago, and so I remember when I was learning the Ruby Rails, someone showed me the pry, and that day my life was changed, because like I never saw any powerful debugger in the language as a pry, or like bybug is a similar, right? So it's really like it helps a lot, because at the moment we rewrite some services in Go. In our company we use Go language. We try to, because we have some product in C++, and we try to rewrite that in Go. It's a server application. And I try to debug, and it's so complicated because I use Vim. I use Vim for my editor, and it's hard to make like these breakpoints in Go language. Because you can use your Vim plugin for Vim Go and then Vim something for the debugging, but still Ruby is the best language for debugging. I mean, like in debugger is the best. So I don't know what PHP has now, but I think Ruby is the best.
Yeah, you can go into the prop, basically go into that core stack and see. The prop is awful.
Yeah.
It's almost same as in C++ is GDB. Is it GDB? Yeah, the GCC debugger. You can go into the registry and see stuff. Yeah, those old days when you code in C++ and see. You need to go into those registry and see the value inside. Pry, yeah. I think since we have buyback, not much people are going to Pry because it's too basic, I would say. If you go like next line or step through, step in, the command is a bit different compared to buyback. Buyback is much more user friendly.
Bybugger or Pry?
Buyback is more.
Buyback.
Rails is using buyback right now.
Yeah. Okay.
Think. Yeah. Hope to see more stuff on Christmas this year, the 2020, and see what's coming up in terms of the Ruby world. 3x3. Truffle Ruby is still I think it's still the fastest. Just overhead a bit, but still performing just faster than JRuby right now.
I'm looking forward to Ruby actors actually in Ruby 3. Like, I'm wondering how they're gonna handle the actor system, and also the fibers implementation in Ruby 3 as well for asynchronous operations. That will be interesting to see as well.
Yeah, they work really hard to maintain compatibility. Older framework or not. See whether we have more people. More comments. Not yet. So how's your work or stuff related to Ruby? Any interesting stuff?
I think you can talk about the conferences. Like you just mentioned, like Matt's giving keynotes. I think there's a lot of conferences around this time as well. I think the most recent one is Noruko. It's in YouTube, and then I think this Friday is Ruby Kaigi Takeout. I think, yeah. So there's that as well. I think they're doing an English interpreter channel as well. So, yeah. What else is that? I think one, I guess, good thing. I don't know. It could be good. Is that a lot of conferences are remote, so we get to enjoy them live without flying to those places. But the bad thing is we can't fly there. So, yeah.
Okay. I think Ruby project is homebrew. If you're using Mac, you definitely know homebrew because that's the way you install packages for your Mac. Since they removed Ruby in, I think, starting on Catalina, they removed Ruby and any other scripting language by default. Not sure about Big Sur. Yeah, previously they bundle in with Ruby, now they don't have, so it's a bit weird if you want to install homebrew.
Yeah, I think most people just install RBENV because previously in macOS the pre-bundled Ruby is quite old as well. So
I'm still using RVM. I'm still the old version one.
classic version.
Yeah, to separate all the project gems as a Recent library. Let me think. I think I'm get used to recently know Alchemy CMS. One of my project deals with that. So it's basically like WordPress, but it's Ruby based, Rails based. You can edit your content and push it out. So
What?
still
Sorry, what is CMS
Alchemy,
name?
Alchemy, yeah, Alchemy CMS is a Ruby based.
Is it good?
From my colleague, he said it's good. It's quite stable. They use it in Australia. So it's okay. I'm still learning because they use the same UI framework as what's the one of the e-commerce website. I think what's that already? Shopify. Yeah. Good to look at because it's CMS and it's also Ruby based. We're working on around that framework because it's like a black box. It's a Rails engine, so you just add on to the Rails uh, platform that you have and give a route to it. You can use it. Other than that, not really have much things different. I think a lot of people are still using Rails. The new framework is like Hanami. Hanami is the what they call dry. Rhoda. Those are the new stuff in Ruby. Yeah, dry Ruby. Let's see. Any more questions? Any interesting things happening around the Ruby world? Yeah, next month. Next month will be clinic, right?
Yep. Hopefully, we'll. I think let's do a clinic. Let's do a clinic. Hopefully, I'll get the event details out soon. Yeah.
Ruby style guide. Shopify. I think yeah. That was the time. How is the Ruby adoption around your area right now? Like, do you have a lot of people doing workshop around Ruby? For my area, is not much right now. It's more going towards JavaScript.
Right. Yeah, I think a lot of companies are moving that. Like Rails Shop will still maintain as Rails Shop, and then everybody else, unless they have like a requirement to use specific languages, then they tend to screw towards JavaScript more.
Talking about in Malaysia itself,
Yeah.
in Kuala Lumpur.
It's not much people, like new people coming in to learn Rails or Ruby, because there's a lot of option right now. There's a lot of fancy new things around popping up. But yeah, I think we need to get more people into Ruby. Just to have more people share experience.
We need more companies to start using Ruby.
Yeah, correct. Just need more people to push what's the good things about. Previously, there's a what they call serverless Ruby. That's called Shopify. Unfortunately, the guy shut down the platform. It's called Fast Ruby.
Right.
FAST.
Yeah, he gave a talk in one of the Ruby Tuesdays last year, year before. Yeah.
I use his service. It's free, so you can abuse. You just go in and run scraping directly using the serverless server. So
have you tried Lambda with Ruby?
Not really, no. I haven't tried Lambda, but it will be nice. It's supposed to work similar to Sinatra, if not mistaken, right?
I've tried it once, but I never installed any other gems. I just use Ruby core itself, so I'm not sure. I've seen people raising comments that there's problem installing gems on it, so but I haven't tried personally. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. So
I share a link with you. I'm not sure if you want to open this link and share the screen, or you just want to share that screen to that link to everyone. This is a really good article. It's like, how old is this? It's a couple days ago, I think. Oh, it's August 27. So it's very a short article. Tells you about the language of the tech startup. And you can see, if you scroll down, you can see the rating of the languages they use. So those are all the famous startups, and you can see the languages is as a single language, or as a two language, or more languages.
wow.
I think the data come out to be if you're using Ruby, if you're a YC company that uses Ruby, you tend to be more successful.
Yeah, of course.
I think because like Stripe and yeah, I guess they have all the directory here. Yes, like Stripe. Yeah, Stripe is using Ruby and Airbnb and Twitch and Instacart.
Ruby house. GitHub. So using Ruby. GitLab, yes.
Yeah, I'll also share this in the Slack chat as well, so anyone can take a look at this later.
Yeah, cool stuff. Really cool stuff. And one of the big company here in Southeast Asia is Gojek. Gojek is using JRuby. Their stack
really,
is JRuby.
JRuby?
Yep.
I thought they use the Ruby. They use JRuby. Wow.
Yep. So they've been to one of the RubyCon in Malaysia. They show how to deploy on Google Cloud with JRuby. So their infrastructure runs on JRuby. Interesting talk also. I think they choose track, right?
Sorry, lost you a bit there.
Yeah. I say that for Gojek they choose JRuby because of the native multi-thread, because Java JVM runs multi-thread almost natively. But JRuby is still in 2.6. Is it still supporting 2.6 or it's moving to 2.8? I think last time I checked it's like 2.6. So it's in MRI 2.6.
I think it's 2.5 actually.
2.5. Oh, okay, yeah. The 2.6 is in support ticket. Yeah, 2019. Maybe they will plan for 2.7 because now we are in 2.8. The MRI head is at 2.8. So yeah, they will need to support it to see whether there will be a great regression. I think they found some regression on their GRuby stuff. Any other framework that you will recommend other than Rails or Sinatra? Any other framework that you tried before? So far?
Yeah, as well. Same.
Yeah, those are the popular one. I tried Hanami. I tried to use Hanami. It's a bit weird. It's their own concept. For benchmark, I think Rhoda is fast. It's very fast, faster than Sinatra in certain cases because it's using a database connector rather than using Active Record. It's using SQL, SEQUEL. SQL. It's another lightweight database connector. Yeah, SEQUEL. SQL. Cool. Any shoutouts? Any hirings?
There's quite a few on the Facebook page. So I think anyone interested, just go to the Facebook page. I think there's quite a few job listed there. Yep. I think there's like jobs on GoGet and Faith as well. I'm looking through the Facebook. Yeah, so for everyone who wants more information, I think just drop by Facebook.
Mm-hmm. See, any announcement? Any announcement you want to make?
No, I think the only one is, well, we're having code clinic next month, so everyone come prepared with topics.
Okay, cool stuff. If that's the case, I think we can end this meetup.
Yeah.
Cool. Good.
All right. So thanks everyone for joining us. See you all next month.
Thank you.
Thanks
Bye.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye.